Namaste everyone.
Namaskaram to all of you.
I am Simple Raj.
And I'm simply Lulu. Welcome to the first episode of our podcast.
We decided to call this episode Prebrief because we're quite literally setting the stage for the future of our podcast. Uh, we are expressing our intent. We're talking about quote unquote learning objectives of our podcast. So, without any further ado, Prebrief setting the stage. I'd like to really thank everyone on behalf of me and Dr. Lulu for the incredible feedback and the reach that you've given the podcast. Lulu ma'am, you'll be surprised to know just 6 hours into our launch, we are at 102 subscribers. And
Oh, hooray!
yes, and we've got feedback from mentors. I got feedback from our friends, our colleagues, and everybody's really excited about it. So I think there's certainly some amount of pressure here.
Exactly. I wanted to tell you that there is a lot of amount of pressure to setting the expectations. But then again, we'll just have conversations. And if people, both from the healthcare and the non healthcare community, can learn something or be interested in healthcare simulation, I think we've reached our goal.
Absolutely, absolutely, ma'am. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's going to be a very simple conversation. We don't have a script to start with, so we're just doing it on the way, on the fly, like how I like my simulation. So, Lulu,
Yes.
ma'am, you want to start off?
Yeah. So, for the people who are not aware of who we are, I'd like just to start by saying, again, simply Lulu has a background in anesthesia. Currently, a professor at Father Muller Medical College down south of India, coastal city Mangalore, and formerly I was heading the simulation center there for more than a decade. Stepped down from administrative duties, so now enough time in hand to do a little bit of research and simulation, and of course to record the podcast. So that's about me and Raj.
Simple Raj is an emergency physician by training, a very brief period in emergency medicine, and quickly jumped into simulation. I managed the simulation center at Sri Manakula Vinayagar Medical College in Pondicherry, and I'm new to the job. I just took up the role there, the administrative role there, and on my free time, I travel a lot to conferences. I conduct competitive simulation events, and I'm trying to put my hand into entrepreneurship. And this is the promise I made to Dr. Lulu, this podcast. So here we are.
Yes, Raj. And Raj is, in general talk, called the tech genius of our simulation world in the country. So I'd like to add that for him. Raj, among the comments I received personally, it's like, how did you guys get into simulation? And we are
Hmm.
interested. How to expose ourselves to more of opportunities to learn about it, or basically, how did you all, how to get into it? Like, so I would like to start, even though we will be having episodes later on pure career pathways in healthcare simulation, I would just like to mention a few things here that the first step to start is to be part of societies and the first society which comes to my mind, very well deserved, is Pedistas, the pediatric simulation organization. Though they are not just a pediatric simulation society, they're dealing with adult simulations also. That is one society who has structured leveled programs for faculty development. And I think, Raj, you have experienced it, and you are also a part of the, yes, Pedistas capacity building program. I've also had the privilege to, be mentors to a few of the programs. So that is one place where, in our country right now, is going very structured, the Pedistas. Another society I would like to mention is SHS, doing a great job with their annual conferences and exposing most of the national audience to various simulation principals, simulation workshops, and connecting them to international faculty. So these are the two societies in India right now doing a good job with capacity building. And thankfully, international societies are also entering our country and doing faculty development. The first one
Yeah.
I can think of is PASH, Pan Asia Simulation Society in Healthcare, who has a tie up with Manipal, and they are doing certificate courses. Raj?
Yes. Since you brought up Pedistas, there is the International Pediatric Simulation Society, which collaborates with Pedistas, and is an international program which offers fellowships to our facilitators. It offers opportunities to travel abroad and present their research proposals, and even a Shark Tank and things like that. And along with IPSS, alongside IPSS, we also have the Association for Simulated Practice in Healthcare, which is ASPE, based out of the UK. They have been trying to make inroads into India with accreditation to simulation centers, and helping scale up simulation activities in India. So, yeah, these are a few societies I can think of right now.
Yeah, yes. And there are a few universities which I have to mention who are very, very pro in simulation topics as PhD. I can think of is JIPMA, Yanapaya University, Kerala Health University, Rajiv Gandhi University, and Symbiosis is also doing a good job with,
Yes. Yeah.
simulation, Symbiosis Pune. And any other universities you can think of, Raj?
Yeah, ma'am. There's quite a few institutes I'll have to name drop here, and I really hope I don't miss out anything. Most of these institutes are places you and I have collaborated to some extent, and I'll just go geographically, I guess, from the south. We'll start with Chennai, where there's Apollo Center for Simulation. There is Chettinad. Then there is Mahatma Gandhi Medical College in Pondicherry, which has coincidentally two IPSS fellows. Then there's Arupade Vidu Medical College. There's my own institute where I'm currently working, Madakala Vinayagar. And moving to Karnataka, there is Vasa Vaidehi, which is one of the largest simulation centers. And they hosted the HPSN conference where you and I were a part of. There's also JSS Mysuru, which recently pilot tested the healthcare sector skill council accreditation standards. Moving up in Maharashtra, we have Bharati Vidyapeeth, which hosted Simulus last year. There is Dinanath Mangeshkar. There is DY Patil, which has been doing simulation for a very long time now. And there's also Datta Megi Institute. Moving up a little, there's Parul University in KD Sale. There is Chirayu Medical College in Madhya Pradesh. There is uh, there is Kalinga in Orissa, and all the aims, for instance, significantly and independently have contributed to simulation in some way or the other. And there is again PSG in Coimbatore, which I mentioned, which I briefly have to mention, and there's also Himalayan Institute of Medical Sciences, which is hosting Simulus as we speak. So I'm sure we missed out quite a few. So simulation is fast spreading. Yeah, there's SGT University in Noida. Again, something I missed out. Simulation is fast spreading. There are institutes from the start which have anchored simulation in a big way, and they've been each simulation institute have has been pushing their own niche within the simulation space. For example, GSL in Rajahmundry, where I worked previously, they really pushed the anvil when it comes to high tech simulation. Then there's also MGM, Navi Mumbai, and CMAST, which specialize in cadaver-based simulation. There's several corporate hospitals doing in situ sim, such as Kim's Health in Trivandrum and all the Rainbows hospitals, and Kim's hospitals. Uh, there's also been a lot of early adopters in the simulation space with a lot of central government backing and institutes of national importance. We have the CMC Vellore having a simulation center separately for the nursing college as well. Then we have PGI Chandigarh, and yeah. So it goes to say that the list is really huge, and as much as we like to think that simulation is not just making inroads into India, it is. It's present. It's being adapted very very quickly, and a lot of people are showing interest in the many faculty development programs that are available around the country. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting prospects coming up, and my sincere apologies if I've missed naming any institutes. These are just off the top of my head. Please do take time out to comment in the chat box if we left you out, or if you know some institutes doing significant work in simulation. Thank you.
Yeah, and even our fraternities, like the ISA Anesthesia Society or the Emergency Societies, surgical societies, pediatric societies, and I'm so glad that at every of the society annual conference, one of the workshops is actually simulation, and ISA has a whole fledged simulation based course, certificate course to teach the technical and non-technical skills related to anesthesia. And I think even a strong foundation for simulation is also laid down by AHA India. I should also mention that. So such societies and organization are the first step where our audience can actually get sensitized to what's happening along with capacity building.
And because you mentioned the American Heart Association, right? I also have to mention the Jiva Raksha Foundation, which you and I are both a part of. They've significantly contributed to upskilling simulation centers and enabling them to conduct simulation courses. There's also the NELS labs, which are coming up on similar lines. There are several ATLS sites which are doing significant work in trauma simulation. So yeah, the future is absolutely exciting to see where it all unfolds.
And Raj, I think we are, the few who were privileged to have international masters and fellowships. Mine I have done from Ireland, Galway University, and yours is from Staffordshire, if I'm correct.
Yes, ma'am, that's right. I'm doing a 3-year MSc from the University of Staffordshire in the UK. I just cleared my first year PG certificate and moving on to second year now.
Yeah, so you're pursuing that, and there are a lot of international organizations like SSH, ASP, and other universities who are offering credentialing and certifications. If anybody is interested, please do drop an email and we will give you more information on that. And we definitely will have an episode to cover career pathways and certifications and accreditations. So back to you, Raj. Can we just, it's a thing, elephant in the room right now with our non-healthcare audience. What exactly is simulation?
No, ma'am, we're not going there yet. I want to surprise you with a question. Do you remember how we cross paths and when we cross paths?
Oh my God. Okay. I remember, and that's when, yes, I forgot, we had the Singapore Society for Simulation
Yes.
having a workshop, and one of both our mentors, Dr. Dinkar Pai, had invited us to Pondicherry.
Yes, and I had come as a delegate. I was extremely new to simulation, and you were this rising star back then in the simulation world. And I was in awe of everything you were doing. You were doing FIMER. You've done your CHSC back then, and it really struck me what would it mean to learn from you uh, to uh, to understand simulation through your perspective. And so it happened.
Yes, and I had come as a faculty observer. Yeah, yes, and that is when I think we cross path. Exactly.
So yes,
Okay.
I'm glad you remember that we met at
And
MGM's in Pondicherry. Yes.
yeah, and that's a surprise for me. Thanks, Raj, because it's how many years now? I think it was before COVID,
Yes.
right?
It's 6 years, man. 2019. 6 years.
Okay, and not bad. We are here together doing a podcast. Wow.
Still back when Raj was very, very single. I remember very clearly. So
Okay, that's really nice. That's really nice. Thanks for that memory, Raj. Okay, so back to my question on
yes.
what exactly can you tell our non-healthcare audience on what is simulation?
So I'm not going to read out the textbook definition, obviously, but I think simulation is a very personal journey to help your students introspect, to help them reflect, which is not allowed in the traditional curriculum. So, through skill teaching and through simulation teaching, when learners go through an experience, we allow them time to reflect on their experience and learn from it. And that is simulation.
Okay, thanks for your perspective. So, what I would just like to add on is we are just simulating and we're creating that experience for them. So, that's the best part. We actually create that experience for them, making sure that our patients are safe and that whoever is participating is also safe so that they get a real time experience. And it's literally like, I'm telling my daughter, I'm giving her a recipe on how to make an omelette. Yes. And she's going
Mm,
to learn
mm.
it, and she's going to tell me how she's going to make an omelette. But at the same time, I'm going to give her a frying pan, going to give her a stove, I'm going to give her the eggs and the ingredients, and I'm going to tell her, go and make the omelette. And after that experience, she's going to come and tell me on what she did well and what she would do the next time she prepares an omelette. So basically, we are, as you said, making them reflect on their experience, whether it's during the experience or after the experience. And we, as the instructors, are going to create that experience so that they achieve some learning outcome. And that's exactly what we want to tell everyone. Like,
Yeah,
it's just like we are mimicking something for them, a real time experience for them. We're just mimicking it and we're creating it for them and immersing them and saying, chalo, go and experience it and come back and reflect and let us know how you did. Is that okay, Raj? I'm sure all the experts out there are like, oh, we have so many definitions, and what are these two talking about?
yeah. Actually, why don't we ask the experts to pitch it in the comments section? We do want to get more reach, right? So all of you, why don't you just comment in the comment section what your definition of simulation is? Let's start off with that.
Yes. And as promised to our audience and the general community, we will try our best to keep it very simple. So, what we do in healthcare simulation is we are actually imitating healthcare or clinical scenarios and putting our learners through it and allowing them to reflect on their actions, right?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So,
So
how did all this start? Now you told
exactly,
how we started. So,
exactly. That was my next question. Beat me to
yeah.
it. Okay.
How did all this start? And I really want to thank, because as far as the back history which I can go is, the one fraternity I really want to thank is the nursing fraternity. Okay, whether international or national, our nurses, part of the healthcare had given shape to healthcare simulation. And I really want to thank and applaud the nursing community for bringing it forth, starting with an injection in an orange. Okay, so that is one
Yes.
fraternity I would really like to recognize and applaud here.
And ma'am, if I'm not wrong, and I often see this on your slides too, the Indian Nursing Council was the first to officially recognize simulation as a teaching modality.
Yeah, right now, because they were the ones who actually had their foundation labs first, and that's why I always like to appreciate the nursing fraternity, especially in our country also. Even before our NMC, or MCI as it was called, it was our nursing council, and now all of them are following suit with all this competency based education. Even our allied council, our physiotherapy council, everyone, even the pharmacy, everyone. I won't be taking names, but all our councils involved in Ayush are also giving so much importance to skill based teaching. But nursing council was the first. And if any of the information we're giving here, if anybody wants to refute or reject or decline, please do comment and we will pick it up in the next episode.
Absolutely. And Dr. Lulu, so we are 5 minutes short of our close. So before we go to a wrap up, I'd like to ask you, the senior, because I want to understand how your journey in simulation happened. How did it transition from anesthesia to simulation and now back to anesthesia? Give us a brief where it started, where it's going.
Okay, so it was just a walk in the corridor, and the dean of our college comes up, and then they're like, okay, Lulu, we want you to help out to start a skill lab in our college. And that's where it started. And the first faculty development program, which we had as a technical partner, it was CAE before, but now they are called Elevate. And they brought in international faculty, and that was an eye opener for me. And that's where my simulation journey started. I just fell in love with the simulation methodology and the teaching technique, and I pursued a few certifications on my own, and that's got me all the way here. And that actually reminded me, Raj, I would like to mention a few industry partners. As I mentioned, CAE was now called Elevate, Lardell, NASCO, there are a lot of international brands
Mhm.
out there who are funding and organizing capacity building programs and actually promoting simulation in our country. If you could just name a few, Raj, or because I think I've named the
You
national
mentioned
players.
Yeah, you mentioned Ladder and then now CA, which is now called Elevate. So they've been doing a fantastic job. Elevate has tied up with Augment Simulation has tied up with Mayo Clinic, and they've done their courses. Now,
Yeah.
other industry partners who are promoting simulation would be NASCO. Yes, there's
Yes.
also Delta Healthcare, which has a few international brands under it. There is Gomad with a few industry partners coming into India trying to make a difference here. There's all obviously Semiotics, which is called surgical science now, and they've been doing a lot of simulation work since years ago with very high tech simulation. And who are we missing? There's also a lot of Indian startups coming into the simulation
Yeah.
space, like
Medicine.
SMVR. Then there's Midtrain AI. We're working on many AI components integrating into simulation.
Yeah.
Then there's
There's a
Opsys,
lot.
which we know very close.
Yes. Yes.
There's
Yes.
Verve, there's Italia. There's a lot of simulation companies coming into India. The
Yeah.
Gpronics, which I met recently. So
And there's a disclaimer, Raj. I would like to state a disclaimer here. We are
yes,
not
please.
endorsing any products, and they've not yet started our funding our podcast. But these are a few players we would like to mention who are actually, along with the educators, they're doing a good job in our country.
Yes,
So
yes, indeed.
back to you, Raj. How did you end up here?
So I'm not endorsing any organization as such, but my foray into teaching happened through the American Heart Association. Right after my internship, I was a little unemployed, so I took up a job as an HA instructor. I became an HA instructor, and through HA instructorship, during a regional faculty meeting, I happened to meet our own mentor, a common mentor, Dr. Pai, who very briefly in 2019 told me that he's doing this small FDP in Pondicherry. Why don't you just come and be a part of it? And why don't you experience simulation for yourself? And that's where it clicked. That's where it happened. So I really owe him a career. So if I hadn't met him during that meeting, I would not have heard of simulation. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
our go-to person and a shout out is to both our common mentors, who is actually a pioneer of simulation in our country. Hooray to Dr. Dinkar sir, and he is the only fellow of the SSH Society of US. So that's a shout out to him. And Raj, do you remember the second time we met and we crossed path? And that's another society which
so this is my test.
in FAMA. Manipal
No,
FAMA.
even before that, we met in Rajamundry, ma'am. We met at GSL.
Oh, for the Simulcon. Yes, yes. And Simulcon events actually got us a lot of international networking. And after that, FAMA, the mentor mentee started there. And FAMA Manipal is another organization who actually laid a foundation for medical education and interprofessional education, given us a very strong foundation, was headed by Siraj sir and now by Elsa. So,
Even during timer, ma'am, if I could just add, we were added as mentor mentee coincidentally. It didn't happen by completely by chance. We didn't ask for it. You didn't ask for it, but it
yeah.
just happened by chance, and here we are.
Yes, and a lot of simulation projects after that, interprofessional simulation projects, creating quite a wave in our country right now. Interprofessional simulation projects by FIMA Manipal. So that's it. And over the last 3 minutes, Raj, I really want to know something a little bit about how simulation started. A little bit of history because I'm a big history buff.
Okay, so ma'am, if I'm not wrong, again, we often talk about Ladal being the first company to have that CPR mannequin with
Little
the
and yeah,
the
Risasian.
Resursian, yes, the unclaimed cadaver, the unclaimed dead body from the River Seine, who turned out to be the beautiful face for Anne, and that was one of the first skill training mannequins. But I think one of the first few centers was the Gordon Center in the US, if I'm not wrong, to pioneer simulation, to actually start off with a technology-based mannequin where you could auscultate, where you could he feel the varus tunnel, he feel the pulses and things like that. I think that is the
Yeah,
first centers.
and father of simulation, who generally everyone considers Dr. David Gaba.
David Gaba, yes, Dr. David Gaba. I still remember this picture of Dr. Dinkapai with Dr. David Gaba with a halo light on their heads. So, yes,
Yeah,
so,
yes, yes. So I
yes.
think that is a little bit about the history which I wanted, and obviously we'll have an episode exclusively on the history. So with I think it's time to wrap up, Raj, for this
Just
episode.
one last question, ma'am. Just one last question. And this is the question I got from, I get a lot of questions from the people on LinkedIn. If somebody asks you today, they just freshly graduated, they're very interested in education, and they want to get into simulation, where would be the starting point for them, according to you?
Okay, so the starting point right now is be a participant for simulation based workshops from
Mhm.
all the societies and organizations I've mentioned, because unless you participate as a learner in such simulation based methodology, you won't get the feel of it. And then if you think you're still interested with the technique, go ahead and start searching for capacity building, and which we will cover in the next episode on career pathways.
Absolutely. And my short perspective is I recommend becoming an instructor for any of the resuscitation courses like BLS, ACLS, because the instructor courses, once you get in that, you get into a brief ideology of debriefing, you understand what simulation scenarios are, etc., before you jump into actual deep simulation. So I would recommend an instructor course for any of the BLS, ACLS courses. And
Yes, that's a
with that,
nice idea.
we will wrap up. We will call it a day and an episode. So thank you all. Thank you for joining today. Lulu ma'am.
And don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. With that,
We are
thanks,
happy to hear
Raj.
any comments. The email ID is simrajsimlulu@gmail.com.
And till we meet again for the next episode, which is on October 26th, this is Tata from Lulu.
Marking my calendar. Thank you, ma'am.